is rising. Golden ages and dark ages oscillate in and out of this realm. During a golden age, everything harmonizes and everything is in its original paradisal condition. But during a dark age, we experience a loss of this union and create environments which eventually push us back to discover unification once again. The black sun in the dark ages is not visible. It is split away from the white sun, representing our condition of duality, the dissociation of our conscious and subconscious reality, the two elements of ourselves which the two suns reveal. The black sun, being the processor and conglomeration of our subconscious, is rising right now and will meet the sun at the center very soon. And when this happens, the aurora borealis will fill this entire realm. Because we are microcosms of this macrocosm, the aurora borealis, this emerald green energy, is the green rays of our hearts, which never left the center. Extending outwards, the aurora borealis will fuse with our heart chakras, automatically propelling us to the center. The rainbow bridge of Norse cosmology, also known as the Bifrost Bridge, will be created after the heart is opened, bridging our lower chakras with the higher ones. This will let us ascend up the levels of Mount Meru until we achieve unification once again in Asgard. And it all starts with the black sun and white sun coming together. These are the two aspects of ourselves, the Adam and Eve, the night and day, which separate after the so-called fall into this dark age. In my last video, we talked about the projection system from the center and how this has been a collective dream we're experiencing backwards. We're still in the pleroma. The demiurge is an illusory construct that has no relevance once we're in the event horizon. The demiurge is us, and soulless beings are the fractalized expressions of our shadow selves.
About other bodies, other lights in the sky that may or may not be visible to us at any given time. It's crazy though, when you see solar eclipse, you don't see the moon at all. I remember as a kid, I'd like, where's the moon now? And it's like you just see this black circle and then everything goes back to normal. It seems like it's like, what the heck just happened?
On the total eclipse of the sun, the shadow that the moon casts on the earth is only 70 miles wide. That is impossible. But then they come up with umbra and penumbra, and it's just stuff to confuse your mind. We have an infinitely far sun sending diagonal rays from the side and straight rays from the middle where they cross each other. It makes absolutely no sense.
I went live a few years ago on YouTube during the 2018 eclipse in the United States on a live event, and we were all waiting for the moon to actually show up to cause this elliptical this eclipse, and all we found was no moon showed up. So that blew my mind, to think that there was actually no moon visible, yet this effect of the sun literally being covered by an object I had witnessed.
Why can't we see the moon approach the sun, eclipse the sun, or exit the sun? And we don't. We just see a black circle eclipsing the sun. We never see it next to the sun. Now people say, well, it's because the sun is so bright. When the moon is totally eclipsing the sun, you should be able to see the features on the moon. You should be able to with a regular camera, with your regular eyes, with an infrared camera, but it has never been seen. There's only been anti-flat earthers that will fake an image and fade it into a picture of the eclipse. There's no video of it. Think about what an amazing video would be if they could film it from the International Space Station or from the moon itself. Never happens, because I don't believe the moon that we see is what's eclipsing the sun. There's lots of ancient mythology about other dark bodies.
There could be anomalous bodies up there. They're not actually visible to us.
A celestial body that we perhaps can't see, because there's no, on the spectrum of light, we can only see 1% of all the light rays, gamma rays, X-rays. We can't see these certain frequencies and energies and lights.
What happens is the sun is eclipsed by the so-called moon, but it's not the moon. It's actually the North Node.
There's been, times documented in the past where there's, this eclipse, and the moon's supposed to be eclipsing, and there's no moon anywhere in the sky. Nowhere. Anywhere. That makes absolutely no sense. So there's got to be another celestial body. The oldest ancient symbols, and it's the black sun. A celestial body that we perhaps can't see.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you lead the rain?
A lot of ancient civilizations always spoke about a black sun. It's like, why are they talking about a black sun for hundreds, if not thousands of years? And that information now is turned into, oh, the black sun is an evil thing. It's like, well, yeah, of course, that's what they're selling it. They're selling it to you as an evil thing to stay away from it. They already don't want you to like the real sun in the sky. They push it so far away. They want you to not care about it. There's a reason it's close to you. There's a reason that it's here for us. There might be more suns and moons on the outskirts of Antarctica, on the outer lands. There might be more suns and moons. There might be more suns and moons in our world here, but we just can't see it.
Teoria, Isaac Newton's experiment, the Northern Lights, flat Earth, explained, thoroughly explained. The more I study, the more I sun gaze, the more I am seeing exactly what the hell's going on in this place. And I know exactly what the fuck's going on in this place. Alright? Off the villa of Norway sits a solitary candle in the center of it all. David Bowie. He tells you that he's a black star. Because underneath here, creating polarity between the two suns, is a black sun that sits underneath the northern lights. With these two things going on, without this sitting in the perpetual twilight and this sun in perpetual motion, there's no astrojet shooting out. That creates a conflection between these two planes of existence. Now, the stars and the sun is all part of what they call the holographic universe, because these stars are being projected down from the celestial waters and the chain of command of the crown, which sits up the most high above us. And below, as they tell you, if you look at the map of Polaris, you'll see that there is a dark black kingdom under here, which is the kingdom of the black sun. It's not hell. Hell is up throughout the Polaris out that way somewhere. And you can get cast down from the top of the crown down to hell, which is outside of this realm. There's no hell in here. There's hell on earth because the motherfuckers that came into this motherfucker via the Polaris were nothing but a bunch of assholes, and they fucking enslaved everybody down here because they were not allowed to stay out there. So they come down here bringing their trouble down here. And if you understand the hex and the different signs that you see of your surroundings, you'll see that they went down here, dumbed everybody down, came out, dumbed everybody down out here too. So as above, as so below. There's a bunch of assholes running around. All right, so let's take a look. This holographic sun that's also alive is being projected, and hitting the firmament on its butt shows the face, because the whole light is just conscious. So if you could just see the light in its mass and its source, it would just be this. But this extrudes and exudes a little bit of this everywhere for everyone to have a little bit of that glory. It's absolutely astonishing. In the center here, you'll see on my flat Earth, well, it's just Earth, it's terra firma. But in the center, you will see a giant ice cap, and they want you to believe that it's froze over and there's nothing that nobody can do and that nobody should ever go there. That is an illusion. That's bullshit. I made that based off of the original flat Earth map that I saw, that I thought was the answer, but this is actually tropical all around here. Now, the cold fronts and everything they do is something that they're doing, manipulating it. So once you get across near Greenway, Norway, and you get near the edge of the north part of Canada and all that, it gets super cold. Getting Russia, it's fucking freezing, right? That's them manipulating the weather, because otherwise, if you could just go there, you'd be like, wait a minute, it's getting hotter. The Aurora Borealis spews out, and it is hot as fuck. It is a tropical fucking paradise over there. And that is also known as Hyperborea. These 4 islands come around, or to be considered the pie. And this is the giant tree stump, which is Rupus nigra.
And it's the center of the Earth magnetic field, known as the Taurus field. That black thing in the center of the whirlwind is the tallest mountain on Earth, far more taller than the Mount Everest. It's so tall that even it keeps reaching out the clouds. It's the Rupus nigra, or the Black Rock, also known as Mount Meru. Some people also called it Mount Zion. You wouldn't find this massive mountain existence in mainstream science and media because it's deliberately concealed. Because if the world knew that there is such a huge mountain in the center of the Earth, it would change the course of history. This includes the true nature of our world will be rewritten, and that will undo the globe-shaped Earth theory and the entire timeline of the Earth from the beginning, and they don't want that. Look how the wind stream passes through that mountain. It blocks the wind stream because of its height and size.
This is where you start from, our Milky Way. And each point tells you this is where it's at. In all 3 star maps that I know of.
Well, could the ET star map relate to the portal jumps?
That's what I'm thinking.
Portal jumps between magnetic field anomalies on Earth, multiple universes, multiple dimensions, multiple timelines, and matter worlds. Is that what this black sun pattern on the thick black basalt doors in Antarctica means? Did the humanoid intelligence that built these 6 huge structures covering 62 acres each in Antarctica deliberately mark their huge self-activating doors with the 12-arm symbol and star map because the information was their signature and their key to a galactic portal network?
Now, a lot of people don't know this ancient secret, but your original source of energy is all coming from the black sun. And this black sun is stationed inside of our planet. Now, when you meditate and bond with Mother Earth, you are pulling in these energies from the ground. Now, all energy will move in a spiral. This is that cosmic force that lives within everything. Anything that have a spirit will have this electromagnetic field circling around it. Now, the gods and goddesses would also have this same spiral or energy running through them as well. Your antennas hold so much ether and power. This is the energy from the black sun flowing through you. And we all know that Jesus Christ loved his lambs. You guys have to understand that the lamb is the only animal on the planet with 9 ether coily hair. Just look around the world. All of your animals will have straight hair. But the lamb was also sacred to the gods and goddesses. And nowadays, a lot of people love their lamb chops. That was all programming, family. The lamb is also part of our family as well. And the black sun is the prime source of energy. This is where the spiral or cosmic energy will come from. God lives within all of us, and that God is melanin. Darkness is a reflection of the cosmic creator. In the beginning, there was darkness. Peace and Ashe, family. Hope y'all like the lecture.
Okay, just a quick recap to remind you that the black sun from down below is the reason of the cosmic energy, and it's the creation of the sun and moon. It's always rotating, and it's always oscillating back and forth in the analemma as it's spinning around, giving us the day and night at all times. Okay, remember? Okay, so under pressure, we have the noble gases in this experiment, like helium, xenon, and all those gases. And then we have a Tesla coil to mimic the sun and to simulate the sun's movement with an electromagnetic field that it stimulates out. Okay, you're going to see that all of the gases get ionized as the closer they get to the pilot source of the electromagnetic field of the sun. And it's because that they interact with the sun in the atmosphere that allows them to become phosphorescent. And that's what gives them their distinct color. Helium, hydrogen, neon, xenon, all the gases, you see them here? There's helium, neon, argon, krypton, and xenon. And they got nitrogen gas. These are all the gases that we see in the sky. This gives them their distinct color. These gases happen in the ionospheric levels, and every gas has its own layer. At the top, you have the lighter gases, and you move down into the heavier gases at the bottom. Every single day, this phenomena happens in the ionosphere, and this is the colors that we see in the sky. It's what gives it the color. In a little bit here, we're going to see a video, and we're going to watch as the sun moves. You see these colors. Okay, because the sun, it works like a moving pilot source of electromagnetic field and electromagnetic energy. And it's moving in a circle inside the dome, and it's charging the radius. It gives us the seasons as it moves through the analemma. When the sun is moving...
Hello everybody. For those who didn't see the first part, I'm giving you a 30-second review of part 1. Here it comes. We are going to start with the spherical theory. So, it's simple. We take a ball and we call it Earth. We surround this ball with another ball and we call it the plasma belt. Then we take the sun and we let it shine on the Earth. The Earth is giving a reflection on the plasma belt. And on the plasma belt we see our own reflection. The reflection is, surprise, the moon. What do you mean the moon is the reflection of Earth? What do you mean? Where are all the rivers and the forests? Yeah, but let's suggest that Earth is 1,000 times bigger than we are told. Then the moon is a reflection of a gigantic big Earth. So, let's move over to the flat Earth. It's simple. We take the flat Earth and we zoom in into the moon. And then we see all those circles, the so-called asteroids impacts. Well, let's suggest that one of those asteroid impacts is a flat Earth. That would mean that we are surrounded by other biosystems. Here is part 2. I would suggest fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a heavy ride. Okay, people will say, well, this theory, it's not real. What are you going to do with a solar eclipse? Okay, I will explain solar eclipse to you. Watch this. Before we go any further, I would like to remind you of the theory of Plato, the allegory of the cave. In fact, we think we see something, but we really see shadows of the real world. So, first we take the sun. Then we take the Earth. We create the plasma belt. On the plasma belt, we see the reflection of the sun. On the plasma belt, we see the reflection of Earth. The reflection of the sun is shining on the Earth. So everybody is thinking that the sun is shining on us, but in reality it's the reflection of the sun that is shining on us. So, what is a solar eclipse? A solar eclipse is the reflection of the Earth. The so-called moon is blocking the reflection of the sun. if Obama would be standing before the mirror and his mirror image would block the sun behind him, and he thought that the guy in the mirror was someone else, he would say, "Hey, this guy is taking away my light. Please move aside." But in reality, it would be himself, his mirror image, that is blocking the light. Now, I will take you one step further. It's even more crazy. Listen to this. Okay, but now we have one giant problem. One side of the earth has been lit by the reflection of the sun, but the other side is dark. How is that possible if the sun is shining there? And then I remembered from our good friends, the Nazis, they had a cult of the Schwarze Sonne, the black sun. So I thought, maybe our sun is black. That was a gigantic idea, and I will explain it to you. Well, the old theory is, you have darkness, and the light is shining in the darkness. What if this theory was wrong? Let's suggest that there is black light and white light. And white light would be the inversion, the reflection of black light. So if you have a black sun shining and it mirrors in the plasma, it could become white light. So white light is the reflection of the black light in the plasma belt. So when you are standing outside at night, the black light is shining on you. I know, it sounds crazy. But let's assume that water is reflecting black light and is turning it into white light. Plasma is a form of water. So, if the black light is shining at night on the earth, the black light will be reflected by the water on the earth, and it will become white light. That white light will reflect on the plasma belt. So if you look in the sky and you see all those white dots, that could be all water worlds on a gigantic globe. So the stars would be a map of the earth reflected on the plasma belt. So, and what star would be the earth? Well, it's quite simple. There is only one star that is not moving. That is the polar star, Polaris. So when you see a time lapse of the stars turning, that means that the earth is turning, and at the center stands Polaris. So I looked on the internet for a photo of Polaris, and I discovered one, the best possible resolution. So I took Polaris. I made it a little bit darker, and then I took the flat earth. Oh my God, this is not true. Yes, I guess it is true. We are Polaris. We are the reflection. Polaris is the reflection of Earth. If we could take a gigantic telescope, we could see ourselves mirrored on the plasma belt. So I really don't know if you're still sitting in your chair. You might be lying on the floor, laughing or crying, I don't know. Maybe you say, this guy is nuts. Okay, no problem. But I'm afraid I might be right. Sleep well, my friends.
Polaris, the North Star.
In the book of Revelation, John, who wrote it, said he saw a door open in heaven, and a voice said to him to come up there. And he went up there in the spirit, and he said he saw one sitting on a throne, and he said that the one sitting on the throne, and then he described him using these 3 colors: a jasper, a sardine stone, and then it was surrounded with an emerald, or like emerald color, a rainbow. Anyway, I think it's God's throne.
So you want something really easy to understand that the Earth isn't a spinning ball orbiting the sun. Well, all I'll need is Polaris and the Georgia Guidestones. And I know, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use rocks that had to keep the population under 500 million. I know, terrible, but you're gonna see why in just a second. So if you weren't aware, Polaris stays in the exact same spot in our night sky, and during the day we just can't see it, and it has for thousands of years. And if you want to say that there was another North Star, I'm calling pseudoscience right away. Extraordinary claims in absence of extraordinary evidence, like for real. But it gets way worse. Not only does Polaris stay in the exact same location in the sky, the Georgia Guidestones had a hole drilled into it that sat on Polaris 24/7, every single day and night. How is that possible if we're doing this? Do you know how much synchronicity is in our sky? The sun goes around the level plane that we live on every 24 hours to create day. The moon phases to create months. The stars realign in the exact same location every single year, once a year. Same thing with the Orion belt. It aligns above the pyramids in Giza every year, once a year. I want you to just look at this and think, would there be any synchronicity in the sky if we were actually on a ball doing this? Would the Georgia Guidestones be able to line up with Polaris constantly if we were actually doing this? Now let's jump into reality. The North Star is fixed here in the firmament. The stars, the sun, and the moon rotate above us. The Earth is fixed and motionless. That's how all of the constellations have stayed in the exact same shape, because the stars and everything are apparently doing their own orbits around their own black holes. And how would they stay in the exact same shape? Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, Polaris, Cephas. There's just simply no other explanation for how Polaris would stay in the exact same spot. And you'll see the trails when they get farther away from the North Star, they get longer. It's because they're all fixed in the firmament, doing a circular motion over our head. Everyone thinks that the luminaries in the sky are a good proof that the Earth is a ball, but I'd say otherwise. I even searched Constellation's Earth model trying to figure out how you guys believe this works, and the first picture that pops up is a flat Earth.